Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for all of your happy Thanksgiving wishes. We always get together on Thanksgiving and just eat. We don't make a big deal out of it. We don't celebrate pilgrims and the first Thanksgiving and all of that. Everybody's off from work or everybody's at home, and so we just get together and we don't make a big deal out of it, and we just do that. Um, Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Now, concerning President Obama, I know that President Obama has fallen out of favor with a lot of Black Americans. He didn't do anything for Black Americans. He advocated for immigrants. He took the DREAM Act, which came from Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, and made it about illegal immigration. So those are just some of the things that Black Americans are complaining about. However, there are those of us who just kind of are sort of indifferent. I liked having the Black president. It was the first experience with that. We supported him. He had a beautiful family. It was good to see another look at Black family besides poverty. So I did like that. I don't have a problem with bougie Black people. Sometimes people call me that. I think anybody who stands on their own 2 feet, who's decent and who make a life for themselves and try to live a decent life, you can get called bougie if you're Black. If you're not complaining about the government or white people or some other thing every day of your life, then you're boule or you're bougie. So I don't have a problem with bougie Blacks, and I hope that you don't either, because hopefully you're what I just described. But if you stand on your own 2 feet, you're not whining and complaining about somebody or everybody every day, then you get labeled something other than who you are. So President Obama, did what he could do. And he had not been brought up in the United States. President Obama was not brought up in the continental United States. He was brought up in Hawaii or Indonesia, back and forth in that part of the world. So he really didn't have a clear understanding about what America is like from the inside. When you look at America from the outside, you might form one opinion. But when you have to live inside of America as a non-white person, then you formulate another opinion. So he came here with the ideals of America, having been brought up by white people, because basically he was raised by his white grandparents. And they gave him a good upbringing, I think. I think he's a decent person. He got a good education, and he believed in the possibility of what America could be. So he believed in it, and we went along with him. And I voted for him twice, and I don't regret it. I don't regret voting for President Obama in the same way that I don't regret not voting for Donald Trump. But Donald Trump's administration has revealed some things in America that needed to be revealed, that needed to be exposed. Americans knew who Donald Trump was from the very beginning. So to be surprised now by anything he says or does, to me, is just like, I don't even know what you call it. Because you're pretending, because you knew who he was from the start. I lived in New York City when I graduated from college way back in the late 70s and early 80s. And Donald Trump, white people couldn't stand Donald Trump up there in New York then. He was the same person then. He's just gotten older and worse. So he is the same person. But President Obama's administration is what brought about this Trump administration. And it is what has exposed some things in America that needed to be exposed. The main thing for me that that this administration has pointed out is that, number one, Black Americans are not immigrants. An immigrant you have to be an immigrant, you got to get permission to come to a country from that government. We didn't have to get anybody's permission to come to this country. We are here by special invitation. They came and got us and brought us here. So we are not immigrants to this country. And I heard somebody say something like, well, Black people migrated from the South to the North, so you are immigrants. No, we're not, because I don't need a passport to go from Alabama to Illinois. I don't have to check in with Immigration and Customs at any point. I don't have to go back ever so often and get anything renewed. I don't have to take a pledge to the state of Illinois if I move from Georgia or Alabama. So I'm not an immigrant. So this Donald Trump administration has pointed that out because, unbeknownst to us, people thought we were immigrants. They thought we were going to be deported. That's why they were so comfortable voting for Donald Trump. And also, Donald Trump's administration has pointed out the poverty that's been weighing on Black Americans, that Black Americans are not the major recipients of all of these freebie programs, these SNAP benefits and housing vouchers and things. This administration has pointed that out. I think these things are very important. They were never going to get exposed by anybody else's administration because we are the mules of America. So anything that's negative, just put it on the mules. Okay, we want to talk about crime, put it on the mules. Now Black people are actively searching out crime reports and reading the reports for what the FBI says who's actually committing the most crimes in America. We've never really been moved to. Now I have. Y'all know I have. I'll dig into it. But more people are doing it now because they're lying on us. But this administration has brought all of that out. So we had to have President Obama to smoke out Donald Trump. And we needed Donald Trump to smoke out this information that needs to be out there. So we have something to fight with. And when I say fight, I mean metaphorically fight. When people come at us with bullshit, we know what to say back. So we needed President Obama to get Donald Trump. Now, that's the way I'm looking at it. And I don't let anybody come to me talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. I'd say it from the beginning. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump got elected, I said, I'm not going to spend all my time agonizing over Donald Trump. My feeling is this too will pass and we will get through it, and I still believe in that. But back to President Obama. We did need President Obama. He was good for the morale of Black people. It was nice to have a beautiful Black family in the White House, even though I believe all that hatred that President Obama's family faced took a toll on them, especially those girls. Now, I do believe that, but that's the price that he paid for his ambition. So yes, President Obama has fallen out of favor with a lot of Black people. He was always out of favor with a lot of white people. But Donald Trump was the villain that America wanted. And he hasn't done anything to try to prove to America that he is not a crook. He's that villain that they wanted. They wanted him to do things. They wanted him to say things. And he's done all of those things. And some of them thought that Black people were going to be devastated by Donald Trump getting elected again. And they have been sorely fooled because Black people are running around here eating crab legs and doing line dances, getting kicked off of Carnival cruises and watching Love Island. Black people are not even paying but so much attention to that. I'm not saying that Black people don't care about some of the things that he's doing, but Black people are given an entirely different response than what they thought, and they're disappointed. He wanted to be the president. He does the things that it takes to be the president. He lost one election and came back and won another one because we don't know what kind of deal he has made to get back in office, but he was willing to do it, and he doesn't regret it. He's willing to do what he had to do to get where he is, and he's always been willing to do that. So we can say that everything that was said about Donald Trump has come true. You know, he's been found guilty of just about everything anybody ever said he did. But America wanted him to be the president because they wanted to offset what President Obama had done. But guess what? They didn't. President Obama's legacy stands, whether Black people like it or agree with it or not. His legacy stands. So I'm going to end this video on President Obama. Of all of the things that you can say about President Obama, there's one thing you cannot say about President Obama, and I'll let this white man say it.
Look at them. Just look at this photo. Look how happy they all are. And you want to know why? Because none of them are on the Epstein list.
I thought this was funny. When President Obama was in office, the Republicans did everything they could to tie him to some kind of scandal, and nothing worked. And even now, with the biggest scandal that's going, Donald Trump's on the list, President Clinton and Hillary are on the list, and so many others. But President Obama and nobody in his family is on that list. And so, on that note, I'll say, have a great day.